Good evening, voters. Tonight, India grieves the loss, mourns the loss of 39 precious lives, Indians who were killed by the ISIS, a terrorist group, in war-hit Mosul. Those went missing in 2014. Since then, their families hadn't heard from their loved ones. Somebody's husband, somebody's son, somebody's father. For 4 years, they have waited to find out, to hear just once from their loved ones, or to get any information of where they were, how they were. Today, finally, the government had a confirmation. The last 2 years, the government has refrained from giving us any concrete information, saying they do not have any confirmation. Their sources indicate they may be alive, but we don't know. Initially, reports suggested that these 39 individuals had been held hostage by the ISIS. But as time went by, multiple versions emerged, with the government then unable to confirm. But as the sad, tragic news broke today, what we saw was another round of shameful conduct by our netas. So even as India stands with the grieving families from Punjab, from Bihar, from Bengal tonight, who lost their loved ones in Mosul, we are completely ashamed of the behavior of our netas. Even as the External Affairs Minister was trying to brief the Parliament, the Lok Sabha, there was chaos, there was an uproar that took place. Just as she finished her address in the Rajya Sabha, the opposition jumped to ask questions about why was there delay. An angry Sushma Swaraj then lashed out and slammed the opposition. But tonight we ask, should anybody play politics over tragic deaths of 39 individuals? Can legitimate questions be asked of the government without politicizing the issue?
Even before the families of the 39 Indians could realize what had just happened, dirty politics had begun.
तो आज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का 1 साल के बाद यू टर्म लेना तो थोड़ा अजीब ही लगता है। उसका मतलब है कि एमपीज को, विपक्ष वालों को ज्यादा जानकारी थी पिछले साल और सरकार को नहीं थी।
We had expected this. पहला जो इंडिकेशन आ रही थी यही आ रही थी ना, so it should have been announced earlier. But it's very sad.
In Lok Sabha, the minister wasn't even allowed to inform the House of this tragedy.
मैं आपके माध्यम से सभी सांसदों से करबद्ध निवेदन करना चाहती हूं कि मैं एक अशुभ सूचना संसद को देना चाहती हूं जो शोर शराबे में नहीं दे सकती। मामला बहुत संजीदगी का है।
4 साल की प्रयासों का पटाक्षेप हो रहा था। बहुत भारी मन से बताना चाहती थी। उस दिन कांग्रेस ने ये बीड़ा उठाया और मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी कि आज के कांग्रेस का व्यवहार ओछी राजनीति की सारी हदें पार कर गया। क्या मौत पर भी हम राजनीति करेंगे?
कम से कम जो मरहूम है, जो भारतीय हमारे बीच में नहीं है, उनकी मौत पर तो राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए थी।
मुझे सिर्फ ये अफसोस है कि इतने टाइम क्यों लगा ये बताने के लिए, क्योंकि सरकार तो जितने उम्मीद दिए उनको परिवार को वो भी ठीक नहीं था।
जिस दिन कोई ठोस सबूत मिल जाए जीवित होने का या मृत होने का, वो सदन के अंदर बताएंगे। आज उन्होंने बता दिया।
As they play petty politics, what our netas seem to have forgotten is the pain of the families who have lost their loved ones. Will politicking bring back 39 lives?
In fact, joining us right now is a grieving wife from Jalandhar. Her husband went missing in 2014 in Mosul. He has 2 tiny children. He's still coming to terms with the news that has come to her right now. Pooja ji, हमसे बात करने के लिए धन्यवाद। सबसे पहले मैं अपना शोक प्रकट करना चाहूँगी। बहुत मुश्किल समय है आपके लिए, बहुत दुख भरा समय है, पर फिर भी आप हमसे बात कर रही हैं आज, इसके लिए शुक्रिया। आपको पहले कब पता चला, कब खबर मिली?
जी मेरे घर वाला ही अज सुबह ही खबर मिली सानू 12-1 बजे के करीब।
आपने आखिरी बार सुरजीत जी से कब बात करी थी? कितना समय हो गया उनसे बात किए?
लास्ट वेरी 15 जून 2014 विच हमारी बात हुई है। उसके बाद कोई फोन नहीं उनका आया हैगा और गवर्नमेंट ने हमें यही कहा कि बंदे सुरक्षित ने, असी कोशिश करते पे हाँ ठीक ठाक वापस लियावांगे, बस यही दिलासे दिंदे रहे। पर अज न्यूज़ दस दी कि वो बंदे जिंदे नहीं है, 38 के 38 मुक गए ने।
गवर्नमेंट ने आपको अश्योरेंस दी कि वो जिंदा है, उनको वापस लाया जाएगा, फिर आज ये खबर मिली। लेकिन पूजा जी, थोड़ा हमें उनके बारे में बताइए, वो मोजुल किस काम के लिए गए थे?
जहाँ से तो वो गारमेंट के काम में ही गए थे। वैसे वहाँ उन्हें कंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी में काम करते थे, मूसल शहर सीगा।
4 साल हो गए जब आपने उनसे बात की थी आखिरी बार। आपने कैसे ये 4 साल इतना कठिन समय हैंडल किया, और क्या गवर्नमेंट से आपको कोई सहायता मिली अभी तक?
हाँ जी, अज तक असी इसी आस ते बैठे से भी चलो कोई नहीं, टाइम लंघ जूगा, कोई गल नहीं, कदी ना कदी वापस आउणगे जरूर। पर अज ते गवर्नमेंट ने साडी वो भी आस खत्म कर दित्ती है।
आपको पता कैसे चला पूजा जी? आपको खबर क्या मीडिया में देखकर मिली? क्या सरकार से कोई आया आपसे मिलने के लिए आज?
नहीं, हमारे पास कोई नहीं अभी तक आया हैगा। सानू तो बस टीवी तो न्यूज़ पता लगी है, और कोई नहीं हमारे पास अभी तक पहुंचा।
पूजा जी, आज भी पार्लियामेंट में और पार्लियामेंट के बाहर नेता आपस में लड़ रहे हैं, एक दूसरी पे उंगलियां उठा रहे हैं। अगर आप उनसे कुछ कहना चाहेंगी, आपका एक संदेश देश के नेताओं के लिए इस कठिन समय में, तो वो क्या होगा?
हमारे देश के नेता को यही उनकी प्रॉब्लम है, जब बाकी देश वालों ने केरला की नर्से से उनको निकाल लिया, लेकिन हमारी गवर्नमेंट ने क्यों नहीं हम इंडियन बंदियां को निकाल लिया। अब हुण जो हो गया सो हो गया, ठीक है, पर हुण सानू गवर्नमेंट नू इन्ना पता होना चाहिए कि जेडे कमाउण दे मैंबर सीगे वो तो हुण इस तरह चल गए ने, पर हुण हमारे छोटे छोटे बच्चे ने, घर दे विच और कोई नहीं है, हमारा सहारा कौन बनेगा? इसलिए गवर्नमेंट से साडी यही रिक्वेस्ट है कि हमें कोई भी माली सहायता दी जाए, और जो भी मैंबर ने जिन्ने भी है उन्होंने जॉब दी जाए, ताकि वो अपने घर का गुजारा आप कर सकन, अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाई लिखा करवा सकन।
पूजा जी, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। मैं ज़्यादा समय नहीं आपका लूँगी, आज इतना मुश्किल दिन है आपके लिए, बट हमारी सारे देशवासियों की दुआओं में हम आपके लिए दुआ करेंगे कि आपको स्ट्रेंथ मिले इस मुश्किल समय में। शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए। आई हैव only 3 questions tonight of our netas. This is the real story, what these families are going through. If you cannot be with them in this time of their grief, then what's the point of being their elected representative? What's the point of this politicking that you're all doing, pointing fingers at each other? Should the opposition have created that uproar, have created that ruckus when the External Affairs Minister was briefing the House about such an important issue? Session after session, we've raised questions about what's happening, what is the news of these individuals. When she finally had the details, should the opposition have allowed her to speak in Lok Sabha? Question number 2. But does the opposition also have a right to question the government's efforts? What were the details? Why did it take so long? Those are the questions that the Congress party and several others asked. Was it right? Today, At that time, was it the right thing to do? And question number 3, the most important, the one I want to hear from our viewers also on, why play politics over such a tragedy, over death of 39 people? Should we not be looking at how we can become a source of strength for those families? Let's say good evening to our guests joining us this evening. I've got Sanjay Jha of the Congress Party. I've also got Dr. Sanjay Jaiswal, Member of Parliament of the BJP, and Sushant Sareen. He's a strategic affairs expert. We're going to go across to him to try and understand how difficult situations are in such conflict-hit regions. But let me first go across to Dr. Sanjay Jaiswal and ask him, why is it, Dr. Jaiswal, that this family is sitting there and telling us this evening that nobody has even reached out to them? Do you think this is the right way to approach the whole situation today?
No, some person from Government of India should definitely have reached out to them. But you have to understand this also, that when Parliament is in session, any minister is bound to give first statement in the Parliament. Yes, of course, after giving the statement, they should have sent somebody either from the state authority or from the central authority to these families so that they can know all the facts from those people who will be sent as a messenger. And I think so the government should also take this issue on a more humanitarian level, and we should definitely help these people who have been fighting with uncertainties since last 4 years. But unless and until the government has got a definite proof, just no government can speak. The people have been no more just on the basis of one person's statement. The government has to speak on these issues with certain proofs, and once they collected the proofs from Iraq, then they said everything to the people of India.
Sanjay Jha, would you agree? Is there such a protocol that first statement must be made in the Parliament?
No, I wouldn't. Tanvi, I don't agree with this at all, with due respects to Mr. Jaiswal. The truth is that you have heard today on your channel, imagine how devastated personally these families have been. The uncertainty over the lives of somebody you love, which is actually more emotionally aggravating, in terms of the gloom of uncertainty that reigns over somebody they care for. The fundamental question here is, when did the External Affairs Minister get to know a confirmation, an official confirmation, that the 39 Indian people who were there working as construction workers were killed? Because let me tell you this, not only do you have an eyewitness, Harjit Masi, who said that he was the lone survivor, he was the 40th man, the lone survivor. He said, I conveyed it to the government, to Sushma Swaraj, that the other 39 were dead. The government chose not to believe him. We want to ask the government why. Why? Why haven't you asked him questions thereafter? I mean, it is absolutely bizarre that the government tends to ignore its own eyewitness, an Indian who was there at that point of time in Iraq. The second point, how can Sushma Swaraj make a statement in Parliament saying that the 39 Indians are now dead without even informing the families concerned? I mean, the only words I can think of are, this is cold, cruel and callous. And Tanvi, let me tell you, this is above politics. I mean, I think I'm talking to you more as a citizen of India. If today my relative, you
may be talking more as a citizen of India tonight. You may be talking more as a citizen of India tonight. Allow me, Dr. Jaiswal. Dr. Jaiswal, let me. I just want to ask Sanjay Jha, do you think your party and the entire country would have got answers to these questions had we allowed the minister to make that address in Lok Sabha and just heard her out and perhaps then ask some questions? Did we need to create that ruckus in Lok Sabha?
You know, Tanvi, let me tell you this. No. Let me tell you the real issue. Let's focus on what is the core issue here. The core issue is, did Mr. Modi's government lie to the 39 families? That is the question we need to answer. Did Mr. Modi's government, and this is not just about Sushma Swaraj herself, did they actually not tell the families the truth that they needed to be told earlier? Why is it that today, Harjit Masi, you have the lady Mrs. Gaur who made statements today saying that we were misled all this time? If Sushma Swaraj says, 1 minute, if Sushma Swaraj says, 1 minute, on what basis did she tell them that the people were alive if she had no evidence? Now, Mr. Jaiswal, please answer this question. I'm asking you a question. Please don't interrupt. On what basis did External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj tell the people that they were alive when she had no evidence?
Even in the...
It's a moment of monumental shame.
Can I answer you now? Can
yes,
I
please.
answer you now?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Where was the evidence? On what basis was Sushma Swaraj reassuring people?
Just listen to me patiently.
You misled the people, you misled the families, you misled the parliament, you misled the country.
You can speak whatever you want, but just listen 3 sentences of mine. I belong to a flood affected area. Even if the whole villagers see that a person has been drowned in flood, we don't give them compensation. This is the rule of Government of India unless and until the body is found or there is a certain 7 years gap that the person could not be found. Just by one hearsay listening from Iraq, we don't have any official statement of Iraqi government. There was no Iraqi who gave a proof that, yes, I have seen these people have died. Nothing has come from ISIS that, yes, these people have died. Just from one person who said that he was there, which has been proven wrong. That at the time of death, he was not there. And you want
just one
okay, let me go across to the expert here.
Jaiswalji, just one person, he was with the other 39 people.
Well, the government claims
that
the government claims he wasn't able to get a proper story on what happened.
Bangladesh is early.
Or a construction worker.
You haven't listened the whole
1 minute, gentlemen. 1 minute, gentlemen. Let me go across to the expert here, if you will allow me, and I want Sushant Sareen to come in here. Sushant Sareen, here is the chain of events. Dr. Jaiswal, allow me this, please. In 2014 July, this is what the MEA told us, that there are 41 captives with whom the government has no direct contact. The remaining people who are being termed as stranded are not all trapped. As far as the 41 captives are concerned, I could say that we do not have direct contact with them, but I could say on the basis of other sources that they're safe and alive and are getting the regular meals. This is the statement that was given to us in 2014 July. In August 2014, again a statement was made by the ministry that said 41 people are concerned, that I would like to say with responsibility, that they're alive and safe. But in 2015 then, there was a written response by the ministry and by External Affairs Minister saying that as per latest information from multiple third-party sources, they're all safe. Last year, it was Sushma Swaraj, I very clearly remember, who came and said, I do not have a confirmation. And since I do not have a confirmation, it will be a sin to claim whether they're alive or dead. Now, I don't see a problem here, as whenever they get information, they share it with us. And she was honestly very upfront about it. But Sushant Sareen, how do you view this? Is this a problem?
You know, it's not a problem. I think it's being made out to be a problem. See, here's the thing. People forget what the situation was in that particular area from 2014 till as late as, the last months of 2017. It was an ISIS-infested area. The ISIS had a control. There was no communication with them. We had no real sources with them. Now, when this incident happened in 2014, the government was reaching out to certain tribal chiefs and others. Now, in retrospect, you can say, and even at that point of time, there were some people who were, expressing suspicions that some of these fellows are probably stringing us along. They're taking us for a bit of a ride, because lots of monies was being given to them for information, or to gather information, or find out the whereabouts of these people. And I think they kind of misused that entire situation to mislead the government. Now, I think Dr. Jaiswal is right to the extent that there is no way that a government can either say that, look, these people are dead, or we fear they are dead. That's not the way governments deal with their own citizens. That would have been just as insensitive, because without proof, you can just as well turn around and say, what is the proof that you have that these people are dead? Now, that one eyewitness, I think his testimony was not considered reliable, because there were other sources who were considered reliable at that point of time, which did not corroborate this one person's views. Sanjay Jha is right to the point that the way this news has been broken, I think, was extremely shabby. There was nothing in the Indian constitution or in the Indian statute or the traditions of parliament which says that you first have to inform parliament before you inform the family members. It is a different thing if the minister or the government wants to make a policy statement. Announcing the mass murder of Indian citizens is not a policy statement. It is information which is being shared with parliament, and there is nothing to say that the government could not have spoken to the families once it got confirmation, informed them, and then also informed parliament. Having said that, I think when Sanjay Jha talks about a monumental shame, I think it was equally a monumental shame the way our parliamentarians behaved. But I, as a citizen of this country, don't expect anything better from these people. They behave like monkeys with machine guns. You know, the kind of scenes which were there, I was shamefaced that are these the kind of people we elect? Why could not? And there are other countries in the world where greater tragedies have happened, where their governments could have been blamed for those tragedies. In this case, you can't really blame the government for what happened. Please also, Tanvi, remember, the government has been issuing a notice after notice, an advisory after an advisory of the places where people should not go. They have been listing out hotspots, and yet many people violate those advisories, go to those places, they cock a snook at the government's advisories, partly because they are desperate enough and they need the work, the money is much better out there, and partly because they're not even aware that, they're getting into a situation like this, because they're promised that they'll be taken to Dubai or Saudi Arabia, and then they're taken to Iraq or some other godforsaken place. But the point is that these are people who violate the safeguards put in by the government. When they get into trouble and they are pulled out, this happened in Yemen. People were pulled out and some of them went back in. Some of them refused to be pulled out.
Okay.
And once something happens to them, then they start cribbing about
Tanvi, I want to make a point here, please.
Yes. So the 2 points, Sushant Sari, I'm sorry I'm interrupting there, but quickly taking these 2 points. Actually, Sanjay Jha, I'll come to you in a bit, but I first want the BJP representative and the MP to respond to the fact, Dr. Jaiswal, that Sushant Sareen says there is no such protocol unless it's a policy matter. Foreign affairs policy matter, there is absolutely nothing that compels us, the minister, from informing the families first and telling the parliament later.
There's one more thing that I remember, that last year when Sushma Swaraj gave a statement about these 39 people. She said that whenever I will get information, I will definitely inform the parliament.
Yes.
I think both things should have happened simultaneously. That would have been much a better way to tell the other people, because I still believe that these people's families should have been informed.
So you believe that we could have handled this better? We could have shown some more sensitivity to the pain of these 39 families?
These mistakes. Yeah, definitely. There should be more. We should have been more sensitive, but because she has already spoken in Parliament that the day I will get a concrete information about the
okay, I'm glad, and I at least that you are admitting to this, that the government could have shown more sensitivity towards the families.
That was the reason why Sushma Swaraj spoke in the Parliament.
Fair enough. She said it is a sin to declare a person dead without concrete evidence. I will not commit this sin. That's what she said in 2017. But here is the fact also, Dr. Jaiswal, and we spoke to one of those families. They still haven't heard anything from the government. they still have only received that news based on the fact, the detailed procedure description that the minister gave in the Rajya Sabha. That's all. And I think that is not right. Somebody should have reached out to them. I am glad you admit to that. Sanjay, coming to you, because the other aspect that Sushant Sareen raised was about the behavior of the parties and how that has left us all disappointed yet again. You wanted to respond.
You know, Tanvi, I think the critical point that cannot and should not be ignored, because we are talking about the lives of 39 Indians who have died obviously in a ruthless assault by the ISIS. What are we talking about here? That it took the government 4 years to find out about their whereabouts. And by the way, today you have the lone survivor who stands vindicated. He said, I conveyed the message, I was an eyewitness. Can anybody ignore it? Can Sushma Swaraj ignore the reality that you actually had a reliable witness? You may not have seen that person as reliable, but the person has stood today as completely vindicated and justified. Why didn't the government actually ensure that his account was taken seriously and a follow-up action was taken? And let me tell you one other coincidence. There is an association in Iraq. It's called the Martyrdom Association of Iraq. They were holding a press conference today. They were going to make a full public disclosure.
No. I don't understand this. You're telling me, Sanjay Jha, fair enough. Even if the government did take Harjeet Masih seriously, are you saying that the Congress party, if they were in power, they would have taken this man on face value? And
that person was not there when the shooting was going on.
No, I don't care. I don't care at this point of time of what she finally said today. Here is what I want to understand from both of you. Even if Harjeet Masih was there and he saw this, there is the only way of verifying is if our own people on ground can go and verify the fact. How else will you verify it? Sushant Sareen, and it's a war-hit zone. It's taken forces from multiple countries to bring the situation where it is and take back charge of Mosul today. In that kind of a situation, do we expect the government to take one survivor's account and declare to 39 families that they are no more? Sanjay Jha, would your government have done that?
Tanvi, let me tell you this. I don't think our government would have been opaque. You know, what has happened is that this government's history, if you look at its history in foreign policy, whether it's Ajit Doval meeting some Pakistan official in a back channel talk in Bangkok, or whether it's the ISI being invited into Pathankot, whether they are lying. This government has blatantly lied even in Chinese intrusion in Doklam. This is not a transparent government. Sushant is a very expert defense analyst, and he may have a political leaning one way or the other. That's his personal opinion. But can anybody deny that this government has hidden facts from the people of India that misled the public? Can I tell you, Tanvi, there is a very popular mainstream channel that went to Mosul last year. I have been part of that television discussion, and a TV channel goes with cameramen. They take a risk. They do a complete review of the situation.
And I am very sorry that even in this
39 Indians
condition, you are doing a very dirty politics.
And the government of India cannot.
That's the only word which I can use for you.
जयसवाल जी, आप मुझे इंटरप्ट कर रहे थे, लेकिन आपकी सरकार ने देश के साथ विश्वासघात किया है. आपने जो लोग पीड़ित हैं,
let's not make this another session of what happens in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, please, gentlemen. This is not your parliament. Let's not shout over each other. Sanjay Jha, you've made your point.
The way they have behaved with the people.
You made your point. 30 seconds to Dr. Jaiswal to respond to that, and then I want to go across to Sushant Sareen.
So I'm really sorry. This is the government which has helped people in Iraq. This is the government which has helped people in Yemen. And Indians are the first people who went there and recovered their dead bodies of the Indian citizens. No any other government of this world has gone there. There are so many different countries, citizens have been killed by the ISIS. But only the Indians have been till now succeeded in recovering all those 39 peoples by DNA matching. You should understand that unless nobody was, till 4 months back, nobody was able to go to Mosul. And unless and until some government has got a concrete proof just by a person who is here says that, yes, I was there, and finally now we know that he was not there when those 39 people were killed. Everybody knows this statement has been given in the parliament, that he was not there. He ran away with the Bangladeshi people. And you want, still Sanjay Jha, after knowing this fact, is saying that all the facts are wrong. I'm really sorry to say that.
All right, Sushant Sareen, we've seen enough examples where actually the current NDA government has shown exemplary capabilities of bringing Indians back. Not just that, in Yemen, as far as Operation Rahat was concerned, we actually helped people from other countries get out of that situation, and that was an operation that was recognized by several other countries. Even if there are questions tonight about this operation, have we just ended up in a situation where politicians are simply politicizing without actually thinking about the families and the answers that those families may want to know?
Yes, you see, I can completely understand that the opposition wants to raise certain questions, and it's their right to raise certain questions. And if, despite all that the government might have done in this particular case to find the whereabouts of these people, and even if the government has been led up the garden path by some of the people it was talking to, the opposition has all the rights to ask them these questions. But I think there is a certain decorum of parliament which should be maintained so that, a debate can happen and even the public can learn exactly what has happened. And perhaps the opposition does not realize that by putting the government on the mat, by asking them all the right questions, they will turn out to be far more effective than behaving, literally like hooligans or like school children who, throw all sorts of things in a classroom when the teacher is not there. It does not behove of parliament to behave the way they behave. But having said that, I think one credit you have to give to this government, that it has been far more proactive than any other government in the past in trying to bring people or trying to help Indians who find themselves in some kind of difficulty anywhere outside, India. Whatever their antecedents might be, whatever their involvement might be, and it's very much like what the Western governments do, that even if somebody is booked on criminal charges, the government of India, because he's a citizen of India, try and provide some succor. On this particular case, I think we also have to understand that there were contradictory reports coming. There were some reports which also suggested that because these people might have been used by the ISIS as slave labor, so there was some kind of a hope that they might just be alive. There were other reports which said that within the first 24 or 48 hours of their captivity, most of these guys were killed. The one witness which Sanjay Jha is talking about, I think Dr. Jaiswal is right. His credibility was questioned right in the beginning. And then you had other information coming in. Although the intelligence agencies, both the Kurds as well as the Iraqi intelligence, were saying that we think that these people are dead, there was no confirmation. And without confirmation for the government to either, tell the people that maybe we think they are dead, so maybe you should prepare yourself. I don't think governments do that. When, if something happens to a family member, the way we break the story is that, we take our time to break a certain story so that that shock is not there.
Yes.
The government would have behaved in a similar manner.
Yes. Okay. Very well put. Very well put. And I completely agree with you. I am running out of time here, but I just want our viewers to see one more time what happened in the lower house. Mrs. Jha, I'm completely out of time. I just want to play out what happened in the lower house today, because this is absolutely unacceptable. Sure, there are legitimate questions that the opposition or even the media may want to ask, the families may want to know, but there is a way of doing it. Take a look at what happened in Lok Sabha.
संसद को देना चाहती हूं, जो शोर शराबे में नहीं दे सकती। मामला बहुत संजीदगी का है। ये इराक में बंधक 39 भारतीयों से संबंधित विषय है, जिस पर इस सदन ने बहुत बार चर्चा करवाई है। और हर बार मैंने कहा कि जब तक मेरे पास कोई ठोस सबूत उनके जिंदा या मृत होने का नहीं होगा, तब तक मैं उन्हें मृत घोषित नहीं करूंगी। आज मैं सबूत लेकर आई हूं। चाहती हूँ। मैं प्रार्थना करूंगी आपसे कि कृपया शांत रहकर मेरी बात सुन लीजिए। ये राज्यसभा में सभी सांसदों ने साथ दिया और बहुत शांति से मैं अपनी बात रख सकी। मैं लोकसभा में भी उतनी ही शांति से अपनी बात रखना चाहती हूँ, क्योंकि जो डीएनए सैंपल,
look at that noise, viewers. You can hear it. Constant yelling, constant shouting, constant sloganeering. I don't know what was this very important pressing issue that they didn't think of discussing in the last 2 weeks, but they thought they must raise it right now when the details about 39 Indians being killed in Iraq was being shared by the External Affairs Minister. For every one of those politicians who has a question now about the operation conducted, they should have sat down at that point of time and heard the minister out. But that is a problem with our politicians. It's only about rhetorics. It's only about the drama. It is not about the actual action. Even from the government, from the ruling party, nobody has gone to even inform these families who are grieving tonight, because they found out from the media when she started speaking in the parliament. That's how they got the news that somebody's husband, somebody's son, somebody's father is no more, was killed some time ago between the last 4 years. Absolutely disappointing the way our netas have acted. Let us think of those 39 lives. And let us pray for their families. Let us hope that they get the strength to go through this. And let us hope at least now the netas will do something good for those 39 families. For 4 years, they have wondered about their loved ones. At least let's show them some respect. Show some respect to the dead. Show some respect to the grieving. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.